Sonic Prime is over, and many fans are rightfully disappointed. What started off as a fresh, bold exploration of the Hedgehog and his world ended up being a rushed narrative, wasting away with its cheap thrills and negligence of its characters. But despite all of its faults, there's still so much good in the show. And I don't know if enough people recognize this. So I want to start this video off with one question. What is Sonic Prime about? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. The answer is friendship! Yay! Friendship and unity are at the core of Sonic Prime. Now, I understand that this is pretty obvious, and for many listening, you might be like, wow, a kid's show about friendship? Never heard that one before. Okay, yeah, the themes in Sonic Prime are nothing new, but this is the same with pretty much any story. Over the course of human history, we've been telling the same stories with the same messages. What makes a story interesting or compelling is how you present it. And for at least its first season, Sonic Prime was able to explore its themes in a captivating way. In the beginning, Sonic destroyed his universe by shattering the Paradox Prism, and over the course of the show, he restores his world by collecting the shards of the Paradox Prism scattered across the multiverse, also known as Shatter Spaces. But in order to have a greater understanding of the show's themes, we need to understand what led Sonic to break the prism in the first place. Well, early on in the show, we learned that Sonic has been a complete jerk. I mean, I know he's always been kind of a jerk, but everyone can agree that in Prime, it's just another level.
Let's stick together and we'll...
Perfect! I'm gonna ring up. Meet you there.
Sonic! I guess he didn't hear the stick together part.
Does he ever?
Even by Sonic's standards, he's too much. Sonic's Achilles heel is his inability to listen to others, like at all. During their battle with Eggman, Sonic completely ignored the warnings of his friends and rushed in to attack. It was this attitude that led to the Paradox Prism being destroyed and to the destruction of his world. But the show is trying to tell us something. Sonic's world is more than just the physical stuff that makes up Green Hill. His world is formed by the relationships he has with his friends. And from what we can tell, Sonic's world has been crumbling long before the Paradox Prism was ever broken. The prism shattering is just the physical manifestation of what has been going on interpersonally with Sonic and his friends. After this cataclysmic event, Sonic's universe becomes fractured, creating a multiverse of worlds that mirror his own, each broken in their own way. In each shatter space Sonic visits, he finds variants of his friends, all struggling with the same problem, disunity. And in order for Sonic to restore the shards, he must first restore the fractured relationships in each shatter space. It's the friendships that bind Sonic's world together. And I'm not just saying that metaphorically. I want to take our attention back to the palm tree. I've made a video about this topic already, and if you want to check that out, you can click the link in the corner. But anyways, this tree is very important. Well, at least it was. Seasons 2 and 3 seem to have completely forgotten about it. But to summarize, this palm tree is a world tree. In ancient folklore and religions, world trees were located at the center of the world, supporting the heavens above and the earth below. In Sonic Prime, the palm tree is their version of a world tree. Despite the shattering of the multiverse, the palm tree remains. But what makes this tree important is less about its physical makeup and more about what it symbolizes.
Okay, open them. Ta-da!
But I already have a palm tree.
The gift isn't just the tree. It's all the memories we've made around that tree.
It's the tree that binds us all together. Thorn, everything is connected. You, me, the green, even the scavengers. We're all a part of something bigger than ourselves.
This is the axiom of Sonic Prime. This is what unites their world. Sonic could be at sea with pirates or with hunters in the jungle. What endures is the friendship and love these characters have for one another. And when you stray from that, the world breaks apart. No one embodies this decay more than Nine. Nine is a variant of Tails and comes from New York City, a cyberpunk dystopian version of Green Hill. The crucial difference between these two characters is that while Tails had friends to support him, Nine had no one, trusted, trusted no one. The city forced the fox to rely on himself, and it was only when Sonic entered into his world that he finally found someone he could trust, someone he could call a friend. The two will eventually work together to stop the Chaos Council from destroying the multiverse. But for those familiar with the show, you know that this partnership won't last. Sonic wanted to restore Green Hill, while Nine wanted to create a new world entirely, the Grim. Sonic just assumed that Nine would follow along with his plan because whenever he sees Nine, he sees Tails. And Tails always had Sonic's back.
He's just like Tails. He's just a little angsty, that's all.
No, he's not Tails. He's Nine, and they're not your real friends.
You can imagine how Nine felt after this revelation, to be seen not as a person, but as a copy. This mistake created a rift between the two, and it seemed irreparable. But the irony here is that despite Nine's criticism of Sonic, Nine commits the same mistake as him. In the Grim, he builds robots that serve as both his minions and his friends. Each robot a copy of Sonic and the others he has met. The robots and the Grim both represent Nine's desire for control. The people in his life and the city he grew up in have all hurt him in some way. In Nine's mind, if he can just build a world of his own and fill it with robots that obey his every command, then he'll never have to hurt again. To Nine, being separate from others is what keeps him safe. That's why the Grim is empty and enclosed by a bubble. It's a reflection of his inner state and his penchant for pushing others away.
Is this what you want? To spend the rest of your life alone with robots for friends?
At least I can trust them!
In order to keep up with his control, Nine needs power, specifically the Paradox Prism energy from Sonic. And Prime has an interesting view on power. Listen to what Shadow and Dr. Dunnett have to say.
There are only two kinds of folks in this world. Those who've got power and those who want it. Face it, your fox has changed.
What are you doing? We had a plan!
That was your plan. It was never mine.
So it was always about power.
No, that's not...
Exactly. With the Paradox Prism, I'll be able to turn this world into a paradise. My paradise!
In Sonic Prime, power corrupts, isolates, and ultimately destroys. We see this effect manifest itself in the characters of the show. Thorn Rose, Dread, Nine, and even the Chaos Council all tried controlling the Paradox Prism, an object of power, but in doing so, ended up making things worse. They created disunity among their friends and within themselves, each one responsible for breaking their world apart. By Season 3, Nine's pursuit of power and control leads to accelerating the decay of the multiverse. In the last episode of the season, it seemed that all hope was lost. The multiverse was about to collapse. But after a long battle with Nine, they really dragged out the fighting in Season 3, Sonic finally had a breakthrough. He was able to save the day. And once again, it wasn't through fighting, but through his empathy and compassion. When the whole world was against Nine, Sonic never gave up on him. He was always willing to give him the chance to change, and by the end, he did. Nine realized how wrong he was and wants to take part in restoring the universe, but this can only happen through a sacrifice. Now, for all its faults, I feel that the ending of Sonic Prime was able to tie the core themes of the show pretty well. In the finale, Sonic steps up to the call and sacrifices his prism energy to stop the multiverse from collapsing. This act of heroism stands in stark contrast to how others have used power throughout the series. You see, instead of taking power, Sonic gives it up, and it's this sacrifice that saves the day. We've seen in this show how hoarding power and assuming control leads to decay, ruin, and corruption. But Sonic sacrificing himself and giving up his power for everyone is what restores the universe and ultimately saves it. So, what are your thoughts on my thoughts on Sonic Prime? Was I overanalyzing? Probably. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. It helps support the channel. Subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to see more videos like these. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, peace out.